When living with diabetes, knowing which foods to trust can be confusing, especially when it comes to fish. While many fish are high in omega-3 fatty acids and considered healthy, not all fish are safe for seniors trying to control their blood sugar. Some can secretly raise blood sugar, increase inflammation, and even interfere with your medications, especially if you're over 60. That's why in today's Healthy Aging with Nutrition video, I'm going to reveal the 3 types of fish that seniors should never eat if they have diabetes. I'll explain exactly why they're harmful, with real studies from places like Harvard Health and the Mayo Clinic to back it all up. Stay tuned to the end, as I will also share fish that diabetics can eat instead, delicious options that help reduce inflammation and lower blood sugar naturally. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more diabetes nutrition tips for seniors. Share this video with your loved ones so no one else makes this mistake. First up is a fish many people believe is healthy, but it may be doing more harm than good for your blood sugar. Fish number 1, farm tilapia. Let's start with one of the most surprising and most harmful fish that seniors with diabetes should avoid: farm tilapia. On the surface, tilapia seems like a smart choice. It's affordable, low in calories, and widely available. But here's the problem: most tilapia sold in the U.S. is farm-raised, especially from countries with minimal regulations like China or Indonesia. According to a study published in the Journal of the American Dietetic Association, farm tilapia contains more omega-6 fatty acids than bacon. And while omega-3 fatty acids help fight inflammation, omega-6 when consumed in excess do the opposite. They can trigger chronic inflammation, which is especially dangerous for people with type 2 diabetes trying to manage blood sugar control. The American Heart Association warns that chronic inflammation plays a role in insulin resistance and heart disease, 2 major concerns for diabetic seniors. That means tilapia could quietly be making your condition worse over time, even if you're cooking it without oil or breading. And it doesn't stop there. Some farm tilapia are raised in crowded ponds with poor sanitation, leading to exposure to antibiotics, pollutants, and even traces of heavy metals like lead and mercury, especially when imported. You know, I actually heard a story recently that really stuck with me. Mary, a kind 67-year-old retired teacher from Florida, told me she'd been eating tilapia about 3 times a week. It was affordable, easy to prepare, and she genuinely believed it was a smart choice for her diabetic diet. But over a few months, her blood sugar levels started fluctuating more than usual, even though she hadn't changed her medications. During a regular checkup, her doctor asked her about her meals. That's when they realized she'd been buying frozen, farm-raised tilapia from a local discount store, not knowing it was high in omega-6 and raised in poor conditions. Once she switched to wild-caught salmon and started adding sardines once a week, her fasting glucose gradually stabilized and she felt more energetic, too. If you're thinking, well then, what should I eat instead? Great question. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, and mackerel are much better choices. They're packed with real omega-3 fatty acids that support diabetes nutrition, lower triglycerides, and improve insulin sensitivity. Remember, look for packaging that clearly states wild-caught and preferably from the U.S. or Canada, where farming regulations are stricter. One serving, 2 to 3 times per week, is ideal for blood sugar support. Let's chat. Have you noticed any taste differences between wild-caught and farmed fish? I'd love to hear your experiences. Leave them in the comments below. Fish number 2, swordfish. A Facebook post I read last month from Jean warned that she had been careful with her diet after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes 2 years ago. She read online that swordfish was a heart-healthy choice, so she started including swordfish in her meals once or twice a week. At first, it felt like the right move, low in fat, high in protein, and easy to grill. But over time, Jean began to notice brain fog, stiffness, and spikes in her blood sugar, even on her clean-eating days. Concerned, her daughter urged her to get tested, and sure enough, Jean's mercury levels were high. Her doctor explained that mercury can build up more quickly in older people and can make insulin resistance worse. After she switched Swordfish to safer options, her energy returned and her blood sugar became much more stable. So what makes Swordfish a hidden danger for senior health and blood sugar control? Swordfish is a dense, meaty fish often served as a luxury protein in healthy dishes. But it ranks among the highest in mercury, with up to 1.0 ppm, according to the FDA. That's over 5 times the safe limit for older adults, who are more vulnerable to toxin buildup. A 2013 study by Harvard School of Public Health found that mercury exposure was directly linked to a 65% higher risk of insulin resistance in middle-aged and older adults. That means Swordfish may silently sabotage your efforts to manage type 2 diabetes. It doesn't end there. In seniors, mercury can also affect your brain, kidneys, and cardiovascular system, already vulnerable if you've been living with diabetes for years. For safer alternatives, choose fish herring, Atlantic mackerel, or even anchovies. They're naturally low in mercury, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and they support better diabetes nutrition without hidden risks. Many people choose this next fish because it's often recommended as heart-healthy, but not for seniors with diabetes. Fish number 3, king mackerel. King mackerel looks like the perfect catch, rich, oily, and often praised for its omega-3 fatty acids. Many seniors choose it for heart health, but here's the catch: this fish may quietly damage your brain, your kidneys, and your blood sugar regulation. According to the FDA and EPA, king mackerel is consistently ranked on the "do not eat" list for older adults because of its extremely high mercury levels. And mercury isn't just a brain toxin, it's a blood sugar disruptor. Studies from Diabetes Care show that people with higher mercury levels are 65% more likely to experience insulin resistance, even with a healthy diet. In fact, a 2006 study published in Environmental Health Perspectives found that older adults with high blood mercury levels were significantly more likely to develop insulin resistance, even when adjusting for diet and lifestyle. Mercury acts as a pro-oxidant, increasing cellular stress and inflammation, especially in people with type 2 diabetes. What's more alarming is that king mackerel contains up to 1.2 parts per million, ppm, of mercury, according to the FDA, nearly 10 times more than salmon or sardines. That kind of toxic load, especially when eaten weekly, can quietly build up in the body and impair glucose metabolism over time. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever eaten king mackerel thinking it was a healthy choice? What fish do you usually include in your diabetic diet? So while king mackerel might seem like a smart choice because of its oily texture and reputation, it can quietly work against your efforts to manage blood sugar and protect your long-term health. But don't worry, there are plenty of delicious, affordable, and much safer fish you can enjoy instead. In just a moment, I'll share my personal list of diabetic-friendly fish that can truly support your heart, brain, and blood sugar. Safer fish choices for seniors with diabetes. Now that we've talked about the fish to avoid, let's shift to something more uplifting: the fish that actually support your blood sugar and overall health after 60. These options are white heavy checkmark low in mercury, white heavy checkmark high in real omega-3 fatty acids, white heavy checkmark supportive of heart, brain, and diabetes nutrition. Here are a few top choices to keep on your plate: wild-caught salmon, a powerhouse of omega-3s like EPA and DHA. As reported by Harvard Health, it can reduce inflammation and improve insulin function. Sardines, tiny but mighty. They're affordable, rich in calcium and vitamin D, and great for both bones and blood sugar control. Atlantic mackerel, a smaller, safer cousin of the king mackerel. Lower mercury, higher nutrients. Rainbow trout, mild in flavor, easy to cook, and packed with protein and healthy fats. These fish aren't just safe, they can actively help you manage your condition, boost energy, and keep your heart strong. But even more importantly, they support your long-term well-being without putting extra stress on your kidneys, pancreas, or nervous system, which is something many people don't realize matters after 60. They're also rich in high-quality protein, which helps prevent muscle loss, a common challenge as we age. And thanks to their anti-inflammatory properties, they can reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease, improve mental clarity, and even help with diabetic neuropathy symptoms. Whether you enjoy them grilled, baked, or gently pan-seared in olive oil, adding these fish to your weekly routine can make a real difference, not just in your numbers, but in how you feel every day. And remember, consistency matters more than perfection. Even just 2 servings of these healthy fish per week can provide measurable benefits for your blood sugar control, according to the American Heart Association. Let's do a quick recap. We've covered 3 types of fish that older adults with type 2 diabetes should stay away from: Crossmark Farm Tilapia, high in inflammatory omega-6s. Crossmark Swordfish, high in mercury that disrupts blood sugar control. Crossmark King Mackerel, a toxic trap disguised as heart-healthy. These fish may seem harmless or even helpful, but over time they can silently make it harder to control your diabetes, increase inflammation, and put your organs at risk. You have better, safer, and tastier options like wild-caught salmon, sardines, rainbow trout, and Atlantic mackerel that can lower blood sugar, protect your heart, and support your body as you age. Because in the end, it's not just about avoiding danger, it's about making simple, smart choices that help you live better, longer, and with more energy. I really hope this video has given you something useful. And remember, you don't have to change everything overnight, just change one plate at a time. What's your typical fish meal? Have you tried switching to healthier options? Let's share ideas and learn from each other. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss future tips on healthy aging, senior health, and safe foods for diabetic diets. Thanks for watching, and take good care of yourself. I'm here to help you thrive at any age.